I think events like this are extremely important because the belly to belly networking is different. It's not the same online. Yes, we can all Zoom and we can do those things, but when you're breaking bread with people, gluten-free bread for me, with people in real life, and you get to be vulnerable and share your horror stories and your successes and learn from people, the best practices that you can get are is more valuable than any consultant you could possibly hire, because you're talking to other people who've been in the trenches just like you are right now. Maybe they're a few steps ahead of you, maybe they're a few steps behind, and you're learning through teaching. But community and relationship is what hospitality is built on, and so it's critically important that we come together at least once, twice, three times a year to experience that with each other.
I think the biggest opportunity with VRMA is the opportunity to really learn from each other. So I think these events are critical for leaders within our industry and their team members to come and, learn from each other. There's so many different opportunities for education, whether you're in operations or marketing or guest relations. So there's just so much education here. And then again, it's just a great space to come and network, because sometimes it can be hard networking in your local community because you're networking essentially with your competitors. But when you come to events at VRMA, a director of operations from Panama City Beach can then network with the director of operations from Bend, Oregon. So it's really an opportunity to learn best practices and really grow your community of supporters.
One of the big challenges is the fact that there's more and more legislation changes between new ordinances or regulations that are being changed and updated because they were put in 3 to 5 years ago. There's different trends that are happening, and there's new ways that the opposition is figuring out how to push the short-term rental, vacation rentals down in the market and get us banned. And I am loving to see that more and more people are attending the advocacy sessions. They're learning what they can do to advocate for themselves and for one another, to come together and do that on the grassroots level, at the state level. And I love the fact that VRMA is so supportive of the advocacy as well. Their advocacy grant has launched again. So I am really looking forward to the support that VRMA is giving to the states and other local alliances.
I definitely think it's the tours, activities, and experiences. I think it is hyper-local. I think it is very personalized. Every bit of it, even the session that I was just in with Chip Conley, it's really, what is that emotional aspect? So it is really just truly hitting the heart of the guest experience and making I came up with something and it still sticks with me. It's the better the experience, the bigger the memory. When I say bigger memory, it's the lasting memory, and that's the repeat bookings, and that's the emotional connection with the guest.
All right, so the most important thing, absolutely most important thing, no matter what, whether it's to engage, with your team or your community or anyone, is to make sure that your communication is on point. So that means the right message at the right time with the right method. It means, do you have automatic messaging that is triggered by certain actions or times of day that happens to your guests or to your team? It may mean that there are certain points that you have to make sure it's absolutely human communication and not an AI chatbot. So being aware of the different variances of communication is absolutely critical. And then after that is building the relationships. So communication starts, then build the relationships, because everything is based on relationships in hospitality, and that is going to get you the farthest possible. Is that VRMA is sponsoring the World Cup hosting crash course that we're doing in Missouri. So the Missouri Vacation Home Alliance is helping Kansas City get new hosts, but also to educate hosts. And on top of that, we have an initiative that other host cities are joining us. So Kansas City, Missouri is a host city for the World Cup next year. And then Dallas, Texas, and Atlanta, Georgia, as well as Mexico, have joined in our initiative. VRMA is sponsoring. We have Booking.com and Airbnb headlining and giving all kinds of support to this initiative to make sure that the education happens. Now, the even more exciting part is the fact that we are now going to have the data story of what happens in a city when there's education and when there's not education. So AirDNA is going to be tracking this data of new hosts. Are the new hosts doing better with their reviews and the words in the reviews, the stars, in a city that has the education beforehand against the cities that don't have the education? So all of you host cities who are not doing education yet, you definitely want to reach out to me. Let's collaborate on this initiative and get the education out to the new hosts and to the communities and show that we are the professionals. We are laying the foundations of good neighbors hosting and taking care of our communities, as well as the folks that are coming to visit us next year for the World Cup.